I just talked to somebody and had some thoughts on my mind, and I thought I'd share them. Um, Most of you know me as a goofy car driving lunatic karate instructor, but I've had some pretty horrible stuff happen to me in my life. And I was talking to another person tonight who's been through some pretty serious stuff, similar to what I had to deal with in my life. And I sat her down and I talked to her and I told her a story about um, a friend of my mother's when we were pretty young that was this French lady who, big eyes, big expression. And she sat us down and she told us a story about the snake in the garden. And some of you probably know this story. And the story goes that a woman was passing by her garden one day and saw an injured snake in it. And the snake cried out to her, help me, I'm injured." And the lady said back to her, "I can't help you, you're a snake." And the snake said, begged and pleaded and said, "Please help me, help me." And the lady's compassion and good nature gave in to the snake's request and took the snake home and nursed the snake back to health. And the snake kept saying, "Thank you so much. I'm feeling better every day." And then one day the lady went in to see the snake and help it, and the snake bit her, and it was a fatal bite. And the woman just said, "Why?" And the snake said, "You knew I was a snake." And so I think the moral of that story is pretty straightforward. And I tell it to people that I talk to all the time. Unfortunately, I get referred to people all the time to help them in these situations. And being a karate instructor and a sensei, I have to be somewhat of a motivational speaker, and I have to have I don't know, a lot of us consider us spiritual leaders in some sort of way. And when I have these conversations with people, one of the things is that while I remind them that people can be like this, and there are so many more narcissistic people in our society, or sociopathic people in our society these days, just selfish people. There are so many good people that you need to latch yourself onto. And just never give the people that are like that the time of day. You just walk away from them. And if you feel it in your gut, you stay away from those people. You got to trust your gut. You can't trust your head. You can't necessarily trust your heart. What your gut tells you about that person, you trust it. Just like anything we've ever been taught in life, to trust our gut. And more importantly than all of that is that when you deal with people like this, and unfortunately I've had to deal with a number of people like this in my lifetime, it can make you very cynical and very bitter and very dark. And I have my moments, and those of you that know me well probably expect that I would have those moments. And I struggled with them almost on a daily basis, but I never ever let them define me. Never. You can't let cynicism and people like this dictate who you are inside and who you are to other people. You have to find happiness in the smallest of things and enjoy those things and be happy despite all the negativity that may have ever come into your life. And there is Charles Swindoll wrote a story about how life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of your attitude and how you deal with it. And so you have to take control of your attitude, and you have to be above and beyond that. And there's a lot of people I know, I've heard about today, that have been affected negatively. Somebody I know died today. Somebody I heard had a very serious personal issue that got them hospitalized. And I just want to share these sentiments to you for whatever it's worth. Maybe it means something to somebody. But you just have to be careful with people, but never let it ever take over who you are. That's all.